16-14. Another upset from Luminosity, defeating a Liquid in disarray. Janko, it's time for the analysis of that one, and there's a lot of like interesting points to talk about. But first of all, I was really interested to see that generally Luminosity are stepping up individually as well as the rest of the game.
Yeah, individually and as a team. I think it's particularly great to see SHOOWTiME performing well, because after that whole thing with SK, you know, he was getting a lot of flack for his performance, and it's not as easy to jump back, you know, into the saddle mentally. That's the best team in the world, some of the best players in the world, and you're getting criticized for your own performance, to put it nicely. So yeah, great to see him and the team performing. As for the Cobble game, I mean, a bit unfortunate for Liquid in the sense that they did lose both pistols. In the first half, they did get reset both times. They would actually win the gun round. But that's, you know, they're themselves to blame for that. Again, they were going with that slow-paced style, creeping towards B, going into the execute. You saw SHOOWTiME on the flank. Yet again, they had 4 people in the site and SHOOWTiME on the flank. And then you know you're doing something wrong, right? You really don't want to allow that to happen. And it seems like they were even frustrated at some point. They saw that on the eco round, just pushing A holes, you know, they caught SHOOWTiME off guard. So then they sped things up a little bit. On the T side, that's what won them a couple of rounds.
Yeah, Liquid seemed to get going a little bit slowly, but then it was quite touch and go for a while.
What really surprised me was Luminosity Gaming. I think I praised them on train for their creativity on T side and all the different ways they decided to attack a site. Not to be seen here on Cobblestone. It was just a B show. Every time they went B, they went A. They didn't likely plant the bomb, take the round. Brute force winning out for Luminosity. And Liquid seemed to realize it eventually. Let's put 4 on B, or at least 1 in connector so that we can get that quick rotation. Then they went away from it, and they came back and they went away. Like, Luminosity didn't have any tricks up their sleeves. It was just brute force B.
Sometimes that's all you need, Jack, on Cobblestone, and it seemed generally to work out for Luminosity because their individual levels stepped up. But do you feel like is it just a mix of Luminosity performing well and Liquid performing badly? Let's say if Liquid were on a better day, do you think we would be able to see a similar result? Because to me at least, it feels like there is improvement here.
Yeah, I think there were definitely things in the Luminosity, especially in their CT side as well, that the Liquid really could have exploited. But remember, this is a team that haven't had a lot of games recently and are only just starting to come together. So it might have just been a lack of scouting as well. And perhaps with Zeus on side, teams might start to take advantage of the way Luminosity really didn't seem to care too much about drop. And you had that one round where Hiko was just wandering around in the middle of drop with a UMP and completely unbeknownst to Luminosity able to come off the backside. And also, when they have rounds like that, Liquid were never able to clutch it out. There were several times when Dowse were just like, what do Liquid need to win a round on T side? Because they were getting so close and just not stepping up individually. Yeah,
Luminosity, I mean, I feel like, Janko, if perhaps we would see some of the performances we're seeing now out of them, that earlier, like if they could have this like a month earlier, that they would be much higher in the table.
Yeah, well, they needed that month to get better. Obviously, it's not just that. When you look at also the second pistol round, the ace and the 1v4 from SHOOWTiME, it shows you the little, the undisciplined play more than anything else from Liquid, right? Not having the presence of mind. Since the first player dies next to the window, you have 3 players in the site. Hiko has a defuse and a smoke, but you have a person challenging from site, Hiko on the defuse, and JDM wasn't yet close enough to help his teammates. What you should have done is just hide until 2 players are able to peek doors at the same time while Hiko is on the defuse through the smoke, and that way I think it's probably impossible for him to win the round. But he gets basically 3 1v1 fights. In a 1v3, that's something you never want to give away.
Right.
And talking of really small mistakes as well, in the last round, 15-14, Pimp's in a position to make a big play on the flank, and he takes just the longest possible rotation route, and it's just mind-boggling. Liquid can set themselves up nearly for a big flank splash play and then just make a small mistake that undoes the hard work.
Yeah, it seems like there's definite structure issues for Liquid. Is this something that can change overnight? Of course, they got, well, okay, it's not something that can change overnight. It's kind of a silly question. I admit that. But, I mean, obviously with Liquid right now, they need results because, for example, I mean, we're going to see the leaderboard perhaps a bit later that's updated. And Liquid, with losses like this, they're likely not making the top 4. They're likely not going to be going to Anaheim. And so this is the problem whenever you make a change, especially in the current climate, is that, okay, you can make these changes and certain teams need to revamp their structure as we see Liquid, but how much do you sacrifice your performance for that? How long does your performance suffer for that? It seems like that could be a really big problem for Liquid. So like where do you see them?
It's interesting. Zoo's his core is I'm here for Northern Arena and I'm here for IEM Oakland. Oakland, I believe, is next weekend. So we'll have to see what Zeus can do in a week, and if he can do magic. Because if he's able to find some of those fundamental errors that's happening, then yeah, Liquid, it's mistakes. It's small mistakes in CS that are costing them dearly. If they stop making those mistakes, then they should be in a much stronger position to execute their plays. But if they need to work on those tiny mistakes that are happening across the board.
All right, hopefully they get their confidence back. Any final thoughts, Jack?
I think there just seem to be some like really fundamental basics going with Liquid, and on the one hand, that might seem like a really dramatic problem. On the other hand, they might have had a flight or something recently, or like a lot of Counter-Strike this weekend, and just off their game. So maybe all of the basic errors are just a sign of a bad general mentality, and they can come into Oakland with a fresh mindset. All
right, Janko, any final words as well?
You tell me that.
I can't really read your mind, Janko. I'm
you did a pretty good job last segment.
Yeah, I could feel like that was the substance of what you're trying to say. You wanted to say, but how are you going to get there? I guess that's always a surprise. So
let's go to break.
All right. Well, no, we can't go to break yet.
You can't?
We can't. No, because I mean, Liquid might not make it to Anaheim, but you guys can by going to anaheim.csgoleague.com. You can find out all the details for the tickets, as well as the free tickets if you are a student. We have you covered, and also you get all the information as to the venue, the stuff that's going on in the location, hotels, flights, all that kind of good information will be on anaheim.csgoleague.com. But that is all from me actually for now, because James is actually going to jump in the hosting chair. Janko won't have to suffer my presence anymore. He'll be allowed to have his own thoughts in privacy. And we're also changing the costs up as well. So we've got a lot more matches here, 4 more maps tonight for you guys to look forward to. Enjoy.